In a village shrouded by mist and nestled in a deep, dark forest, there was a legend that no one dared speak of, except for the elderly storyteller who, with eyes glazed over by the weight of age and secrets, would whisper it by the flickering firelight. It was the tale of the whispering trees. Once upon a time, long before the village existed, the forest was ruled by an ancient and malevolent spirit known as Ebonshade. Ebonshade thrived on the fear of creatures that wandered into its domain. It would twist the trees into grotesque shapes, making their branches reach out like skeletal fingers. The roots would wriggle and writhe like serpents, trapping any who dared to tread too close. One stormy night, a young girl named Poppy, with hair the color of midnight and eyes that sparkled like stars, arrived at the edge of the village. She was an orphan, wandering from place to place, looking for a home. The villagers, kind but wary, took her in. They offered her shelter and food, but with a stern warning: never go into the forest. The trees whisper there. Poppy, curious and brave, found the villagers' warnings more intriguing than frightening as she settled into her new life. She couldn't shake the feeling that the forest was calling to her, whispering secrets only she could hear. Every night, she would lie awake, listening to the soft, beckoning murmurs that drifted through the village from the forest. One evening, as the moon hung low and full in the sky, Poppy's curiosity got the better of her. She slipped out of her cottage and made her way toward the forest. The closer she got, the louder the whispers became. They spoke her name softly at first, then with increasing urgency. "Poppy! Poppy, come to us!" The moment she stepped into the forest, the air grew cold, and the trees seemed to close in around her. Their whispers were clearer now, and she could make out fragments of their eerie song. Lost souls wander here, bound by shadow, bound by fear. In the dark, we twist and weave. Come to us and never leave. Poppy felt a chill run down her spine, but she pressed on, drawn deeper into the forest by an unseen force. The trees' whispers grew louder, their branches reaching out as if to caress her. She followed the winding path until she came upon a clearing, bathed in the ghostly light of the moon. At the center stood a tree unlike any other, a massive oak with bark as black as night and leaves that glimmered like shattered glass. This was Ebonshade, the heart of the forest's darkness. As Poppy approached, the tree's whispers became a roar, drowning out all other sound. She reached out to touch the tree, her fingers brushing against its cold, rough bark. The moment she made contact, a surge of energy coursed through her, and she was thrown back, landing hard on the forest floor. As she lay there, dazed, she saw figures emerging from the shadows, ghostly apparitions of those who had been lost to the forest over the centuries. They circled her, their faces twisted in eternal anguish. One stepped forward, a young boy with hollow eyes and a mournful expression. "Poppy," he whispered. "You must leave this place. Ebonshade feeds on your fear, your curiosity. It will trap you here, as it has trapped us all." Poppy struggled to her feet, her heart pounding in her chest. "How do I escape?" she cried, her voice trembling. The boy pointed to a small, glowing orb nestled among the tree's roots. "Destroy that orb," he said, "and Ebonshade's power will be broken." With newfound determination, Poppy approached the orb. As she reached for it, the roots of the tree sprang to life, wrapping around her legs and pulling her down. She fought against them, her fingers inches away from the orb. Summoning all her strength, she managed to grasp it and crush it in her hand. A blinding light exploded from the orb, and Ebonshade let out a deafening roar. The roots released their grip, and the apparitions around her began to fade. The forest seemed to shrink back, the oppressive darkness lifting as the whispers ceased. Poppy stumbled back, away from the tree, which now stood silent and lifeless. The spirits of the lost souls hovered for a moment, their expressions peaceful for the first time in centuries. One by one, they disappeared, leaving Poppy alone in the clearing. Exhausted but triumphant, she made her way back to the village. The dawn was breaking as she emerged from the forest, her ordeal behind her. The villagers, seeing her return, rushed to her side, their faces filled with relief and awe. Poppy told them of her journey, of the malevolent Ebonshade and the lost souls. The villagers listened in stunned silence, and when she finished, they knew their forest was finally free of its curse. Poppy, the brave girl who had broken the spell, was hailed as a hero. The village prospered, and the forest, no longer haunted, became a place of beauty and peace. But on certain nights, when the moon was full and the wind rustled through the leaves, Poppy would sometimes hear a faint whisper, a reminder of the darkness that once was, and she would remember the lesson she had learned, that curiosity can be as dangerous as it is powerful, and that some secrets are best left undisturbed.